Let's bring in David Webb now to get some perspective on the day's stories that we all are talking about. David, great to see you. Morning. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hillary breaking her silence yesterday, so she was grilled for 3.5 hours. In fact, if our viewers didn't get a chance to see this, hold up the front page.
That's what it looked like.
How appropriate. Yesterday, grillery, 3.5 hours with the FBI agents yesterday as she was being interviewed. So 8 FBI agents interviewing her. Then she gets on MSNBC. I want to play this soundbite. This is how she described the meeting, and we'll get your perspective. Listen to this.
I respect the professionalism and integrity of the officials at the Department of Justice handling this process. I was pleased to have a chance to sit down and answer their questions today to try to help bring this review to a conclusion. I'm not going to go into any more detail than I already have in public many times, as you certainly know. But I've been answering questions now for over a year. I've released more than 55,000 pages of my emails for the public to read for themselves. I will continue to, be as forthcoming as I can.
Be as forthcoming as I can. Nothing to see here.
Right.
It's all in the past.
You know, this is actually an insult to the men and women in the Department of Justice, the professionals that do the job. Let's look at this for what it is. It's not about the number of emails. She could have released 1 million emails, just like she flew 1 million miles. It's the quality, it's the classification of those emails. They were classified emails, they were SAP-level classifications. This lady, this Secretary of State, committed an egregious act that none of us should ever commit, and she allowed our secrets, our compromise of our intelligence.
David, do you think it's a coincidence that Hillary says, I've been telling people for months I'm willing to talk to anybody, but then just a few days after her husband has this meeting with Loretta Lynch where nobody knows what exactly happened, all of a sudden the coast is clear, she's good to talk. Do you think that is just lucky timing, or do you think that the Attorney General could have given Bill Clinton a wink and said, I think it's okay for her to go talk now?
We'll never know what happened in that meeting unless they release some secret videotape or whatever. But let's look at this from the point of view of what really happened. He had to wait on the tarmac. Security had to be cleared. 2 teams had to meet, coordinate, and get inside an airplane. The fact is that the president knew what he was doing, and the Attorney General, who knows what every DA and prosecutor knows and has signed off on, you will not create the appearance of impropriety. She should have respectfully refused and said, Mr. President, with all due respect, I am leading the agency investigating your wife, and this is inappropriate. That's fair to say to him, and that's where it should have ended. But this was a deliberate act, and now we know that there was a lot of coordination going on.
A deliberate act and a lot of coordination going on, you say, but listen to how Hillary Clinton says on MSNBC, this was just happenstance. Take a listen.
Well, I learned about it in the news, and it was a short chance meeting at an airport tarmac. Both of their planes, as I understand it, were landing on the same tarmac at about the same time, and the Attorney General's husband was there. They said hello. They talked about grandkids, which is very much on our minds these days. Golf, their mutual friend, former Attorney General Janet Reno. It was purely social. They did not veer off of speaking about those kinds of, very common exchanges.
Yeah, really short. It was 30 minutes, and nobody was there to be able to listen or take pictures.
Nobody addressed the elephant in the room. So let me try this on the American people. Hillary Clinton, like Barack Obama, now learns about things on the news. She and Bill don't talk about this, but based on the news reports, it was only about their grandkids and golf. Now, we don't know what happened in there, but how ridiculous or how stupid do they think the American people are that we're going to buy this?
Even if it was just about grandkids and golf and yoga pants,
it's the impropriety.
It's what Judge Jeanine Pirro said here on the show the other morning, and she said, look, as a former district attorney, if someone said to me that the spouse of someone at the heart of this investigation wanted to come and privately meet with me, my bodyguards would block that person at the door and say, absolutely not, you cannot come in here.
And, at a lot of the Clinton events that I have been to since Iowa, you talk to people who were there. Why are you voting for Hillary? And you hear a fair amount of people saying, well, it's going to be like a 3rd term for Bill Clinton. Apparently not, because they're not talking that much. She didn't even know when he was stepping in to go and charm the attorney general.
Right, and by the way, if they really want to talk about their grandkids and golf, and they have a right to meet in person if they want at some point, you could have done it on the telephone. There are cell phones; they work on airplanes, especially when you're on the tarmac. The fact is that this is a example of the level of hubris that exists inside the Clinton camp and has for over 30 years.
Well, she does have an honesty and trustworthy problem. We've known that for a while. In a brand new Quinnipiac University poll that came out, has Donald Trump trumping her. The American people believe him more than her when it comes to honesty and trustworthiness. So even if she is not indicted, I mean, does that still hurt her in that category and hurt her in November?
It hurts her politically, but the people who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton, and like Peter, I've been inside these rallies, interviewed dozens of these supporters and opponents. Those that support her will vote for her no matter what. Her line, you know, they've been coming after me with the vast right-wing conspiracy for decades, and I'm still standing. It works for them. The independents in this country, and I say this to the American people, do you trust someone who has that level of political insider hubris and disdain for the American people and whether it's Benghazi, the emails, Whitewater, savings and loan, Travelgate? We have a new generation that needs to learn about the Clintons. If you didn't like the Bush dynasties, are you willing to give it over to the Clinton dynasty with Barack Obama in between?
David Webb, always great to see you. Have a great 4th of July.
Good to
Thanks
see you.
So much, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you to the brave men and women who have brought us to where we are in this nation. We celebrate our independence.
Appreciate that.
Well said. Thanks, David.